Hello everyone, this is David A. Cox with PCClassesOnline.com, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to set up and use your Airport Extreme or Airport Express. I'm going to be answering a lot of common questions a lot of people have concerning Wi-Fi and some of the various features that these devices can do. Now, part of the reason why I wanted to teach this class is that when you're paying for internet with your provider, we're all paying for a certain theoretical speed that very few of us ever actually get, because most of us use Wi-Fi. And as soon as you take an internet connection and make it wireless, it decreases what you could potentially have if you were plugged into your modem. Now, that's also the reason why it's worth it to buy a little bit of a better router that has faster speed capabilities and better range. A lot of people out there will go to a big box store and they think that all these products are the same when in fact they could not possibly be further from the truth. I'll give you an example. One of the biggest brands that is pushed by many of these big box stores is Linksys, also known now as Cisco. Same one company bought out the other. And the problem with Cisco and Linksys routers is that they do not play well with Apple products. They constantly drop wireless signals. I get this question sometimes 3 times a day during our peak season. So it's worth it to spend a few extra dollars and get a really good router that gives you the best speed possible. And there is absolutely no better router out there on a pro consumer level than the Airport Extreme. I strongly recommend you check it out and get it. It's what I use personally, and if you want to support our organization, you can actually go to our website at PCClassesOnline.com, and you'll see that we have a store page. It's actually Amazon.com, but what it is it tags our account, so when you buy it through them, of course, you get it at a very, very competitive price. We get a 4% commission, but you can actually pay less there typically than you ever pay at the Apple Store. So I want to walk you through how to install these products, how to set them up. But before we go there, there's another device that we need to talk about first, which is your modem. So if you have a modem, a lot of you may find that you are actually renting it from your internet provider. I strongly discourage that unless you have digital voice. And by that I mean you have a landline, in which case ignore what I'm saying to you right now. But if you don't have a home phone service anymore other than a cell phone, you may want to check out getting your own modem because it'll save you a lot of money over a period of time. We have one brand that we recommend. You can find it in our store. It's actually under the category miscellaneous gadgets. So check it out there. It's under $100. It's made by Motorola. So let's go over the various steps to get this up and running. Step number 1 is you need to kill the power to your modem. Now, for some of you, it's going to be as simple as unplugging that black cord from the back and watch the little lights go out. But for some of you, you may unplug that little black cord and notice that the lights do not go out. If that's the case, you're probably one of the people who still has home phone service and you're actually using digital voice service. So what it is your modem actually has a backup battery in it so that when the power goes out, you can still make a phone call. If this is the case, you're going to flip it over so that it's upside down, and you'll notice there are typically two small clips. Sometimes there's only one. Take those clips off, and you can see the battery. Just pull it right out, and you'll notice that the lights completely go out. And you need to make sure that those lights stay out for a good solid minute, and please don't push it. Now, when that's done, put the battery back in, if that applies, plug it back in, and you need to make sure that the Ethernet cable, an Ethernet cable looks a little bit like a fat phone line, goes from the back of the modem, and it needs to go into the back of your airport device. Now, on some of these, they have multiple connections. The one that it needs to plug into is this one here at the very bottom, but the key thing is to look for this symbol right here, which might be a little tough for you to see. It looks like a circle, but it's made up of little dots. That is going to be the plug that it needs to go into, needs to connect the modem to your router. At this point, you can plug in power to your router, and I'll walk you through the final few steps. So from here, you're going to need to open the airport utility. The fast way to get there is just go to the little spyglass icon that you have at the top right of your computer. And usually as soon as you type in AIR, it pulls it right up. It's called Airport Utility. And I'm going to show you how to go from here. Now, right now, I am sitting in my office. I have a Airport Express that I have wiped the data from. It's next to me. It is not plugged into a modem. Oops, sorry about that. Pretend you didn't see that. It's never been plugged in, but it's not connected to a modem, so it is going to give us error messages down the road. So from here, all you have to do is click on where it says Other Wi-Fi Devices. It's going to list it right here. Now again, this is with an Airport Express. However, the process on the Airport Extreme is the same. So at this point, you can see here that it says this Airport Express will create a network. If you do not see it worded like that, where it will create a network, just click here under Other Options and tell it that you want to create a network as opposed to joining an existing one. Now we can name the network. This is going to be what the public is going to see, so call it whatever you want. We'll just call it PCO Wi-Fi. You can also name the actual device, so we're naming the Airport Express. You can call it whatever you want. The only little tip I'll give you is if you happen to be in a very crowded area, let's say you live in the middle of New York City, try to eliminate the word Airport Express from it. Otherwise, don't worry about it. You can type in your own password. It has to be at least 8 characters long. Please make it something that you can remember. Otherwise, your guests who come to visit are going to be very frustrated with you. So you can put in capital letters if you want. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, so I'm going to do the password you should never ever use, which is the word password. Okay, I'm getting this error message because, again, this is not actually plugged into a modem right now. And that's it. You can see it's all done. Didn't take very long at all. One other little tip I do want to give you, actually there's a couple here. One is if you one day go up to your Airport Extreme or Airport Express, you'll notice there's a little light over here, and many times it's going to be green. Green is good. Green means you're all set. It's up and running. But sometime you may walk by and notice that it's flashing amber. Usually when you see that, it means one of two things. It can mean that the internet's out, or it means that you have a firmware update. A firmware update is similar to a software update, but firmware has to do with how a device mechanically works. So I want to show you how to update the firmware for your airport device, whether it's an Extreme or an Express. All you have to do is go back into Airport Utility. At this point, you'll see there'll be a little red number. It might be 1. Probably it'll be 1. Click on it, and see here it says version, and then it has a number. If your airport device has a firmware update, next to here, it's going to say Update. Just click on it, sit back and relax. It takes a couple minutes to do it, but it's all automatic, and it'll bring it to the latest version. Now, before we go, just a couple other little tips that I do want to give you. One has to do with those of you who live in parts of the world where you have storms or you have a period of time where you have inclement weather. So a lot of people don't know this, but when you actually lose power, when you have a blackout, many times, but not every time, you actually do still have internet. It's just the problem is that most people don't have power coming to their modem or, for that matter, their Wi-Fi, so they can't get online. The device that you see on your screen right now, this is called a cyber power unit. This one here is actually a pretty well upgraded unit, but they have smaller ones too. And what this does is you plug devices into it, and it has 2 different sides. One is a surge protection side, but the other side has battery protection. So if the power goes out, you can keep your modem and your router online. You can still do whatever you want, especially this is great, of course, if you have a laptop or an iPad. And while you're waiting for the power to come back on, you can be doing your thing. And it's a great little device to have. If you want to check that out, we do have that, once again, in the PC Classes online store. It's, again, under Miscellaneous Gadgets. And that's about it. So hopefully this answered all of your questions. And check out our classes if you haven't already done so. We're a completely free service. We have members in over 160 countries at PCClassesonline.com. This is David A. Cox. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.